Hi, welcome back to Critical Minds. Thank you for coming back. This is episode 1, part 2. The last one got away from me. Hopefully this one won't be as long. Alright, I guess let's jump right back in. Where we left off, we're in the squad room and they're discussing the case. Right after the conversation between Monique and John, you have another cop from like another precinct comes in and he's like, hey guys, there's some random guy just molesting this dead body on a train. And well, you've got Cassidy, who's like this young dude who's giving me some serious Danny Zuko vibes. Like, he's got a big ego. He comes in, he's like, hey man, I'll definitely take the case. Let's go. Like, me and John Munch, because they're partners. And the captain's like, I don't really think you need like 2 people to investigate molesting a dead body. It's not that serious. Not as serious as the one that's the main story of this, So he's like, look, you, Cassidy, you go, but John, you stay, But the way that John reacted in this situation, he's older than Cassidy and has been working this place way, way, way longer than him. But I don't think he really cares as much anymore. Like, he didn't even really blink an eye when Cassidy said, we'll take the job. He was just like, whatever, drinking his coffee. He doesn't care. But then when the captain says, hey, you go along with Olivia and Elliot and help with his, he stops drinking his coffee. He gets up and he goes over there because he respects, the captain more. I mean, obviously he should, considering that's his boss. But he never really gave Cassidy the time of day. I mean, not really, But I thought what was really funny is that to show us that Cassidy is kind of a newcomer here. For one, the captain gave him such a, not a serious case because he doesn't necessarily trust him in his abilities yet. And he's kind of got a good point considering he was like, if it's a dead body, is it really a sex crime? I'm like, dude, you obviously haven't really done a lot of research onto sex crimes now, have you? But, he's got to start somewhere. I will say, though, that he does show a lot of initiative considering he jumped up and asked for the case as soon as he heard one. He heard that there's already people on this other case, but he's like, I want to go, I want to work, I want to do something, and I like that about his character. There's a lot of things that I know that like annoy me about that character, but, I can't like everybody, I can't like the person, but I do like the character, you know what I mean? Like, he's annoying, he's got a big ego, but he's decently written, you know who he is, you know what he does, it's great. I'm enjoying this dynamic that the squad room is giving me right now. And now you've got Olivia, John, and Elliot in a team together, which is like kind of a cool combination, You got like the conspiracy theory nut, you got the serious but also kind of sarcastic one, and the serious but I gotta get down to business kind of one, which is Olivia. She's the one that is definitely focused on where you need to be. She's like, this is what happened, don't deny, even if this isn't what happened, we still have to operate as if it did, say if like a woman came in and said that she was raped, nobody believes her, she's got to operate in the way that she does believe her, otherwise the investigation is just not going to go the way it's supposed to be, and I think she knows that, and that's why she goes headstrong into every case, she's like, this is definitely what happened. She's telling us the truth. She has to operate through as if she is telling the truth, because a lot of the times with sex crimes, a lot of the cases can come across as like not quite, like you're not really sure if it really happened, and like you're not sure if this witness or like this victim is credible, and you're just like, I don't know, man, like maybe you did just like want to have sex with this dude, and then by the end of the episode you kind of want to feel bad because then now you know that she did, and you're just like, man, now I feel bad for not believing her. But at the same time, that sort of idea kind of helps you in real life, It helps you see those sort of things in real life when somebody says, you know, hey, someone did something really bad to me, you know, I need to tell somebody. But you know this other person, and you've known them for all your life, and you're like, this person would never do that. You know, this show tells you it's possible, and you need to pay attention to those that confide in you, and you can't just toss them aside just because you believe the other person. But you can't toss the person that you know aside either. It's more like you kind of have to just be open to each possibilities. But I guess you have to be in like a weird state where you both believe them and don't, you know? Because otherwise, if you stick to one side, the other person could get prosecuted. The other person could never get justice. You know, you have to make sure that you're open to both possibilities. Otherwise, people can fall through the cracks. People can get depressed. People can go to jail, you know? And this show really highlights that. So anyway, Elliot, John, and Olivia are both kind of, well, all three of them are coming up with a plan, you know, figuring out what the strategy is, how they're going to get this perk, which I really think is it's like showing you that they're a good team, that they know how to work together, that they've known each other at least for a decent amount of time, you know, they know what they're doing. And I know it's like, you would think that John would be like a team player kind of guy, which he isn't, but he knows when he needs to be. Like, he's not just gonna go rogue because he feels like it, you know? No, he's gonna do his job because he's an old dude. He's been through life. He knows when you have to get down to business. So anyway, they're talking, and Elliot's like, look, man, I can't help you right now. I'm doing court. And I'm like, ooh, court. Get to finally see the court, you know? Usually in crime dramas, you know, you only see, like, up to the last arrest. But in Law and Order, you get to go to court. You get to see what happens afterwards. That's like half the show. You know, first half, they catch the dude. Last half, you might lose the dude, but you caught him. And then, you know, sometimes they go to jail. Sometimes they don't. Sometimes they shoot a judge. Sometimes they shoot themselves. You know, lots of stuff happen in a courtroom. And you never really get to see that in any other crime dramas. It's just like, ooh, we found the guy. We arrested the dude. You know, ooh, he got away. Or something, and then it's like a two-parter, and you go to the next episode, and you find him. But Law and Order, man, you get to the court, and it's like, ooh, not guilty, and you're like, man, this poor girl just lost, like, she didn't get justice, you know, now she's got to deal with this rapist on the street, you know, and the first time I watched this, I thought it was a two-parter, because I was like, whoa, man, they ever gonna find this dude? And I'm like waiting for the next episode, waiting for them to find it, and then it's like a whole new thing, and I'm like, y'all not gonna, you guys aren't gonna go after the dude? Like, what happened? And then I was like, maybe it'll show up later. And I literally watched like the whole season, and it's like, nope. Law and Order is a different kind of show. It's a kind of show that's like, life goes on, you know? If you fail, you have to keep going. And that wasn't fun to see. Moving on though, with our first season, we get a nice good glimpse of the courtroom. And basically what you can see around is, you got the judge, you got the defense attorney, you've got, you know, the people viewing, the jury and whatever, and you have on the stand is Elliot Staber, and you're like, oh, does that mean like cops can be on the stand? So anyway, the lawyer's asking him questions, and he's like, hey, you know, what do you do for your job? You know, what kind of cop are you? And he's like, I'm an SVU detective, and you know, this is some sort of like a quote unquote organic way of putting in what SVU even is. I mean, is it clunky and derivative? I guess. But, it's a pilot, you know, you gotta put it in there. You gotta put it in there somewhere. You gotta know what to put in there, if you get what I mean. Not what to put in there, but, like, you need to know what the show is, and you have to put it in somewhere, and this is the only place that they can really put it in. So he has to explain to the court, you know, what his job is, and he's like, SVU is a volunteer-based unit, meaning you request to be put in this unit. You don't get thrown into it, like, you you might get thrown into homicide after becoming a detective, but you can't get thrown into SVU. You have to volunteer to go, which I like because it means anybody who starts at SVU wants to be there. They're probably not the kind of person that's like, oh, rape victims aren't necessarily credible or blah, 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 or, oh, maybe she did want it, blah, 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 blah. You don't really get a lot of those people into this unit, which I like. They're more compassionate people, which means the cases are probably going to get, they're probably going to actually be taken seriously. The defense attorney, keeps questioning him, and what comes up is, why do you work for the sex crimes unit? And he's like, I do it for my family. And this kind of opens up the idea, the thought, the question of why is everybody in the sex crime unit? Why do they do this for them? Why do they do this for the people? What are their reasonings for being here? It makes you wonder why Olivia's there. It makes you wonder why Munch is there. John Munch, like the conspiracy theory dude. Like, why are you there? Why is Monique there? And it's like, now it's like a longing question. Like, the quest for the show is to find out why they're there, if you get what I mean. And it's like a nice thing to look forward to. So, the defense attorney is asking about the defendant, which is a flasher in his neighborhood. And apparently he was the one that arrested him. And he makes a joke about the defendant's penis. He's like, oh, I didn't want my wife and kids to see his shortcomings. Insinuating that his penis is short. And, the defendant gets real pissed off. Like, I'm talking like he stands up in this courtroom, right? And he just takes off his pants and just, like, throws it around. It's just like, look at it, because he's mad because he thinks that everybody thinks his penis is short. I'm assuming that's why he flashed anyway. He wanted to feel better about himself. So, the judges, like, yelling, order, order in the court. You got gasps in the jury. The defense attorney is pissed and sad because he just lost his case. He's just like, man, why you gotta go do that? I was winning this, He was winning this, too. He had a convincing argument. No one really saw what he was doing, and he just ruined it. And it's just like, it's interesting because it tells you that the defense attorney has more to lose than how much he gains, if you get what I mean. Like, it's not, he doesn't just get paid to do this. Like, he has to keep a reputation, and he's kind of losing it with this case. And then when you look at the district attorney, the assistant district attorney, I'm assuming you guys might know what a district attorney is. If not, I'll put a link in the description. But, she's sitting at her desk laughing her ass off because I feel like what was going on in her mind was that she thought she was losing this case. She thought this defense attorney was a good-ass attorney, right? Because he was. I mean, like, she was gonna lose, and then all of a sudden, he just starts flashing his, like, genitals out, and boom, bang, boom, she wins. So she's laughing, because this was easy. And then the camera pans over to Elliot, and he's just got this smirk on his face that's like, he knew what he was doing. He said that because he knew it was gonna set that guy off. He knew he was gonna flash everybody in the court. And I think that was clever and shady and hilarious, and I love the scene for that. I will say that, for a first episode, it's kind of like a lot, but it's like a good kind of a lot. It really gets you thrown into the show. It gets you raring to go, hyped, and it's a good way to start. So after the trial, Elliot goes back to the squad room, and he's talking to Olivia. And is basically telling her about the trial. And turns out, when this dude just started flashing, they just took him to the psych unit. So he's just kind of there now. And probably will stay there until he's mentally competent to stand trial. So, they get back to their investigation. And it turns out that the guy that's dead isn't the guy that it says on his taxi driver ID. Which, mind you, if you look at this taxi ID, it is like, it's just a piece of paper with a photo laminated. And I'm like, how on earth is this like an ID? I feel like anybody could forge it, and in fact they did. This taxi license belongs to somebody in jail or something. So they take it to the captain. The captain figures out how he forged it. There's just a photo on top of the other photo, which is just telling me so much about how terrible this ID stupid system was back then. But whatever. Anyway, they go to jail to find out, who would want to kill him, assuming that the person that killed him looked at his ID and thought he was him. You have to cover all your bases. So they go to the prison and they visit this guy. And I just want to say this guy's acting is like really weird. But at the same time, it's like, is he just acting weird because he's been in jail? Like, I've never talked to anybody who's currently in jail. So like, I don't know how they feel about it. But anyway, it kind of starts off with Elliot. He's like, oh, looks like you're dead, man. And he's like, what? And then Olivia's like, so tell me, who would want to cut your penis off? And I'm like, whoa. Everybody just calm down, all right? Can we not talk in these weird sentences? And can we not just throw out there someone cutting somebody's penis off? I know that this is the point of the episode, but we've already had someone throw their genitals out in court. I don't need to hear about castrating them now. It's too much back to back. But anyway, they have this conversation. He's telling that he sold it to some dude with a kid on the corner next to some coffee shop, and that he had it set up by this third person. And Elliot's like, great, now we gotta find a third person. And I'm like, well, I mean, it's only been 10 minutes into this episode, so I guess they need to, I want this to go on, but I know that there's steps to get to the person that did it, and I don't know. I feel like I'm rambling right now, but it's like there's a lot of steps in this episode. Most episodes don't have this many steps to get to who did it, but this one is gonna be a little while, and it's probably gonna make me make a third video, but we'll get there when we get there. I think I still have some time, 3 minutes. But so anyway, they figure out who this third person is. Wait, do they? Let me check my notes. No, they don't. They don't figure out. They go to the diner where he was last found. That's what it is. So, anyway, they talk to this woman at the diner. She's like, I don't know who this is. She doesn't really give a lot of, information that they need. So they leave. And then this Sikh dude comes out and he's like, hey, I saw your dude go into a car with these two ladies. And, they figure out that the murderer is probably these two ladies. Now, about this Sikh dude. This is 1999. Before 9/11, and I really, really, really appreciate the fact that he's in this, and not in a oh my gosh it's so diverse kind of way. I mean, in a genuine there would be Sikh people there. There's one person there, and it's fine. You don't have to really go into the details. I like the fact that they didn't throw him in there just to have this false flag terrorist attack thing that they do later, because it's after 9/11, so every time there's a Muslim involved, they always talk about terrorism, or whether or not they're part of terrorist ties, blah blah blah. And if a Sikh person is there, they always have that whole mistaken for Muslim sort of thing, and it's I'm tired of it. But it's the world we live in, and they have to do it to stay accurate. But I appreciate the world that it is right now in this show, where they don't have to do that, where I can just have a Sikh dude just be a regular extra in the background saying 1 or 2 lines, and that's that. It's a way of showing you that they're normal people, and I really wish that I could have that now, but I can't pretend like it's not happening. So that's how it is now. But it's refreshing to see before that time. Well, I think I'm gonna wrap it up right there, because I think this episode's getting way too long. I'll probably post episode 3 within a day or 2 or so. I'm not sure. I'll definitely get it in by the end of this week, though. I don't like keeping people waiting like that. Thanks for listening, and see you on the flippity flip. Hey guys, thanks for watching. And if you want to watch the next episode, please click on the higher hanging scale. And if you want to watch the previous episode, click on the lower hanging scales. And see you on the flippity flip.